Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. This is Yeyuna, and today I am going to show you how to make black beans, homemade from dry beans. So stay tuned, pay attention, and hopefully, this is something you're interested in and you can try it. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Okay, next we're gonna make some black beans, and you measure out as many beans as you want. I'm sorry, I don't know how many beans I usually do. This is what, a 1/2 cup measurement? And I'm putting, let's say I'm doing about 1.5 cups. So that way we'll have leftovers. And we're using the Instapot today. I'm gonna throw garlic powder in, because I like garlic powder. And onion powder. I'm not going to do anything about salt yet, because if you try to put salt in beans before they're cooked, it makes them harder to cook. So that's what I was always taught, and I've found that it is true. So we have beans, garlic, and onions in there. You can use the real deal instead of powdered. I like doing that too. And for the water, we're gonna do it like rice. Have it be covering and a little bit over. Because this is a pressure cooker, so it should be okay. Yeah, I put about that much water in there. Is this plugged in? Yep, it's plugged in. All right. And I have to admit, this thing has grown on me. I used to fight Jason. I didn't want to use it. I love my crock pot and I love using the stove, but this thing really does help. So we're gonna do it for 1/2 hour and let it start. Push start?
No, you're good.
It's okay. So we'll make sure this is lifted. Make sure this is up. Get it away from here so that it doesn't ruin anything, because when the steam comes out, we don't want to ruin anything. And so we'll leave these in here for 1/2 hour. Then after that, we will put them into a pot and start cooking them down. All right, so I've already pressed this down, let the air out, the pressure out. So let's undo it. And the beans look like this. Let me see. We'll get the spoon so you can see. The skin is peeling back on them, as you can see, so they are cooked. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer them over to that pot. Then I'm gonna add a little extra water. One moment. Okay, so this is what it looks like with the amount of water I originally put in there. And I'm gonna add a little more water to help it cook down a little bit and thicken up. So I'm just gonna fill this with some water. I won't overfill it, just enough, just a little bit. So that ought to be enough water. Just to cook it right. And we'll put that on low. Give it a little stir. Now about here, if you want to, you can always add more onion and garlic, which maybe I'll do. I think I'll add a little bit of garlic at least. I love using fresh garlic, fresh onion, but this makes my life easier. And minced onion that's dried, I love using that too. I ran out, unfortunately, so can't use any today. One moment. All right. And don't judge me. I really like garlic. Jason likes garlic, so we use garlic. There's that. Put it in there. Now, you can add salt and pepper. So we'll use some pepper. Where's the pepper? Here you go. Here's pepper. No, not that end. I want the other end. There's that. Now, I'll add some regular salt now, just to flavor it. Later, I'll show you guys a little something else I put in there. I usually do it with brown beans though, so I'm putting some salt. Okay. So I tasted the water. It tastes good so far, the broth right here. And what you want to do is cook it on low and slow, kind of like cars, and let the water evaporate, and pretty soon it starts getting thick. Then when it starts doing that, you can either leave it so they can be whole, or you can mash them up. Now, I do have a masher. Here it is. So depending on how you want them, if you want them whole or if you want them mashed, you can do that. I wanted to mention, I have it on low, but if you want to cook them a little bit higher, because they are already cooked, and you want this to evaporate a little faster because it's closer to dinner time, you can. I just like to cook them low and slow. So, but it is a possibility to turn it up and just keep an eye on them and stir them and make sure they don't burn. All right, the beans are boiling, so the water is evaporating, as you can see. Just gotta keep on stirring it. Again, this is on pretty low. I think I might even put it a little lower, so it'll go a little slower, as slow as it can go. But it's still super liquidy, so we want the water to evaporate more. All right, it's getting closer to being done. It actually had formed a little skin, but I stirred it and I didn't think about recording. I'm like, so I couldn't show you, but the water's gone down a lot. It's almost done. What I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make them kind of like the mashed, the refried. So I'm gonna let it cook down probably about 5 more minutes. No, 7. And then I'll mash them down. Taste the broth and it tastes good, then the rest is good. Yep, it needs a little more salt. Teaspoon and a half. Okay. Let's see. Yep, salted enough. It's up to you how much salt you want to use, but I mean, beans really do take a lot of salt, especially if you add salt early. So the closer you put salt in to the end, the better it'll be, and you won't have to use as much. And before I forget, let's do the timer. We'll do 7 minutes. And then after 7 minutes, we'll shut it off, and then I'll blend it. And just so you see how much it's thickened up, it's not as watery. It'll do it naturally, just low and slow. Okay, here, if I hold it at a certain angle, Oh, it's done, but you can see it formed a little bit of a skin. So let's turn this off because the alarm went off. 7 minutes is done. And I don't know if I try to mash them. Well, I could try to mash them so you can see. Just get a masher and you just mash them like this. And you do, it's kind of like mashing up a potato. You kind of half turn it. And don't worry about the liquid, it'll soak in. We don't want it to get too dry because then it'll be really solid, really thick. And I like my beans a little bit more watery, you know. But if you want to, get an immersion blender and that'll make it go fast. That's what you do. This is how you mash them. Now we can mash them some more, make them smoother, or we can leave them with a little bit of, you know, texture. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like to have them mashed like this so that it has a little bit of texture, or do you like them smooth? You know, what I can do is do the immersion blender too, so you can see. 1 second. You know what? I think I like them like this. I'm gonna leave them like this. Maybe next time I'll make them with the immersion blender for you guys. Okay, we'll take this off the heat just to let it cool off and so it won't burn, because I turned the burner off, but it's still hot. That's the thing about electric. You know how long it took me to get used to an electric stove? It was crazy. I'd always had gas stoves. I still miss my gas stove, but you know what? This is what it is, and hey, it works. Well, that was how to make black beans. I hope you enjoyed it. Please come back and join me again. Please leave me a message if you're going to try it, or if you tried making them yourself. Again, how did you do it? Did you do it the same, or did you change anything up? Let me know. That's the fun thing, you know. You find a basic recipe and then you can doctor it up from there. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully sometime soon we'll be able to go on adventures, but for now we'll be cooking and we'll be sitting and chatting around. I've missed you guys, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.